Hello and welcome to The Elegant Life. Let me ask you something. Do you find it difficult to trust life and just go with the flow? Do you feel the need to control things in your life? Perhaps you have a pattern of needing to control this or needing to control that. Well, what is so important is what I'm going to share in this video. First of all, you need to know where this pattern came from, why you're doing this. And then second of all, I'll share with you what you can do after you have that aha moment. Okay, so stay tuned. And really quickly, please do subscribe to this channel if you are interested in learning more about how to live and manifest with more ease and elegance, confidence, and feminine energy, because that's what we're all about here. All right, let's get started. I have so many clients that come to me with this feeling like they are just always needing to control, but it's creating too much anxiety in their life. It's creating disharmony in their relationships. It's just causing havoc in their life. And it's something they want to change. Yet they say, I don't seem to be able to let go and trust that life is for me, not happening to me, because the same things keep happening over and over again. And I can truly identify with them and empathize with them, because I had quite a few things, but one incident in particular that was very traumatic for me. And the biggest thing that came up for me was you can't trust anybody. So the fact that I sit here with an unshakable trust in the universe and life itself, it's my honor to be able to share with you how you too can move from this to this, because it's so empowering to you. Where do you start? Well, this is the first thing. You need to become aware of where this feeling that you couldn't trust anybody or that you felt unsafe happened in the first place. And oftentimes, yes, we go back to our childhood or your youth. So I'd like you to even journal about this. When was a time in your childhood or your youth that you felt unsafe? And after you felt unsafe, did you try and go somewhere where you thought you would feel safe, and even that place wasn't safe? What happens, especially when we're a child, we have this feeling of unsafety and we want to run towards where we do feel safe, because we've always been able to feel safe with someone or in some environment. And when we go there and that place or that person or that environment doesn't provide the safety, that's when our subconscious mind, which is programmed to take over, to preserve, to keep you safe, kicks in and says, don't you worry, I'm going to keep you safe. But what happens is it starts creating these mental programs in your mind that will protect you, so it says, from ever getting hurt again, from ever feeling unsafe again. And the thing that it usually does is to say, you can't trust. And when we don't trust, something arises in us to want to try to control things. That's the way the ego makes us think that we are in control of things. Nobody's going to hurt us. I don't care. I don't need you. You know, this was my big thing. I don't need anybody. I'm going to take care of myself. And I'm always going to be alert and I'm always going to be aware. And the first time someone hurts me, I'm gone. Like, I was in such antenna mode of always like this. So I get it. But what needs to happen is that you are aware of that as being a pattern. So many people walk around being unconscious of this. And the moment that you become unconscious, that this feeling that you can't trust anybody is not truth. It's just something your mind created to try to keep you safe. And by you trying to control perhaps the food that you eat or the position of your furniture or your picture frames or the cleanliness of your house or whatever it is in your life that you're trying to control, the moment that you become aware of why you're doing it, that's when things can start to change. Now, it's not the only thing, but that's the first step. If you are unconscious, you can't move forward. So we need to become conscious. So here's what you do after you become conscious. The first step is to have a tremendous amount of compassion for yourself. We can often shame ourselves and put ourselves down. Why do you have this issue? Why don't you trust people? You're so this, you're so that. No, 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 no. That doesn't serve anything. Have compassion for what happened. And then while you have compassion, make the choice to start reprogramming to a belief that you want to believe more. So the moment that you say, oh, I can't trust anybody, or I can't trust that, or life is never going to bring me this, or whatever the thing is that's running through your mind, now that you have awareness of it, you can catch yourself. So you have to make the commitment to catch yourself. And as soon as you catch yourself saying, there's that thought again, then you can start saying what you want. For example, a very compassionate way to start moving forward is to say to yourself, I am willing to learn how to trust. You don't have to trust right away, okay? You have to give yourself some baby steps here. So I am willing to learn how to trust. I am willing to let go of control. I am willing to learn how to go with the flow. I am willing to let go and let God. I am willing to learn how to trust. You see how you're not demanding something of yourself? This is a very compassionate way of moving forward. And saying I'm willing is like opening up the door like this and saying, okay, universe, I'm ready to let you in. Because we as humans have been given something very important, and that is our conscious mind. It is our free will. The universe will never overcome your free will. It will always wait for you to make that choice. And sometimes a lot of people wait for you to go down into the depths before you say, okay, I'm ready. Whatever you need from me, just please do it. Okay. But we don't want you to get down that far. So the first thing is be self-compassionate. The second thing is to say to yourself, and even put your hands on your heart and close your eyes. That's what a woman who's in her feminine energy and her power does. She goes within, goes into the heart and says, I am willing to let go and trust. I'm willing to go with the flow. I'm willing to learn how to trust. And she recognizes that this is not an overnight process. This is something that she's going to have to catch multiple times until it turns to be her dominant way of thinking now. All right? Now, because I have been through my own situation, I know how much of a commitment this does take. You do need to have a lot of internal commitment to want to change, and so that every time you have those distrustful thoughts, or you want to move that piece of furniture just back to the position just so that it's in the perfect alignment where it's supposed to be, or whatever it is, whenever you feel you're going into that tendency to want to control, then you need to have that almost as a trigger to say, I'm going to change that to the empowering thought that I want. I am willing to trust. I am willing to learn how to trust. I am going to trust in this situation now. I'm going to go with the flow, this kind of thing, okay? And it can be a process. And that's a great skill to learn. I'm not poo-pooing that at all, because this will ripple into all areas of your life, and it will serve you as a great tool in the rest of your life. And I do know that there are times when you just feel you need support, okay? There are some traumas that are very deep and very heavy, and it's okay to ask for support. In fact, that's a real gift you give to yourself, to say, I want you to be happy so much that I'm going to gift you support. That's a real gift. And I have reached out multiple times during my life in multiple ways to multiple people to help me through mine. And I have had many women come to me for that support. I use a process that is based on neuroscience research, as well as ancient mind-body wisdom, to literally, energetically, and chemically reprogram your mind and your energy to be the energy or the belief or the thought that you want. That is very effective. And if you ever need support, please do. I'll put the link in the description below where you can book a clearing session with me or multiple clearing sessions depending on what you need. But please know that that is a gift you can give to yourself as well if you feel you need it. The other thing I really committed to was reconnecting with nature. I know that sounds strange, but truly nature is one of our best teachers, one of our best guides, and one of our best connectors back to what we all are, pure potential source energy. It's just that it doesn't have all this mind stuff that we do. So we can look to it to remember what we are as well. If you look to nature, you see that the seasons just change. There's no forcing. It just happens when it happens. The tide runs in and then it runs out. Nothing stays the same. It always is in motion. And it's for the good, right? When the leaves drop off the trees in autumn, it's for good. It's the time period. It's the season. It's meant to happen. And then you can also look at the flowers. You know, the flowers are not competing with each other. The flowers are not saying, hey, that flower's better than me or prettier than me. Why does everybody keep cutting those flowers? Or it doesn't say, oh gosh, I hope a bee comes by today and pollinates me. It's nothing like that. It's just everything is happening as it should in the perfect timing. If you really allow yourself to really commit to daily walks or just to daily staring out your window and really connecting with nature and how it's working right now, how it's flowing, what stage is it in, you realize that you too come from nature. You too come from that very same source. And so if you take your hands off of the control and you allow your life to be guided and flow using this internal wisdom, you too will just go from one stage to the next stage. You'll be guided, you'll be inspired, and that's how life will move you. You are guaranteed whatever comes up here to happen. It will happen. You just have to create the stillness, the silence to listen to the actions to take, and you will be guided forward. That's how when women come to me and they work with me in my sessions or my programs, they always come, Erin, I manifested this or this happened. And I always say, welcome to the elegant life. This is what the elegant life is about. Living with ease, flow, trust, confidence, and being in touch with your feminine energy. Now, the final step that I would say that's very beneficial is this. It's really nice to feel the support of the universe, and it builds your trust in the universe when you do ask for a sign. Now, this doesn't show that you distrust it. You just are being compassionate with yourself at the beginning, knowing that you're taking small steps and saying, I am willing to learn how to trust. Can you please show me a sign that you're there? This is beautiful. The universe will take 10 steps towards you if you ask for this sign, you ask for support. And I'll tell you something, I've done this numerous times. I don't do it so much anymore because my faith muscle is so strong, but I'll tell you something, I did do it at the beginning. And it's just beautiful. The signs will come in different ways. They'll come, sometimes I'll just see just this huge flutter of butterflies when they're really, it's not the season for butterflies. Like, where did they come from? Or in the oddest of places, I'll find a white feather. Or a perfect line in a book. It's exactly what my soul needed to hear. Or you might have scrolled through Instagram. I know so many people write me personally and say, Erin, this is exactly what I needed to hear today. People, strangers, can all of a sudden say something to you and you're like, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. Oh my gosh. The universe is always in support of you. And I'll tell you something, when you see those little things, yes, your mind will say, well, was that just a fluke? If you do this and you ask for a sign numerous times and it happens over and over again, your faith muscle does increase. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So these would be my tips for how to finally notice where this whole distrust and control came from in the first place, so that you can become conscious of it, so that you can make a choice to choose a more empowering thought or action, to open the door to the universe and say, okay, I'm willing, I am willing, and then allow the universe to support you in whatever way. And also, if you need support, you can come to me, you can get support from someone else, however you feel led, and then connect with nature, and then ask for those little signs. And I promise you, this is the way to move through it. Is it a quick overnight process? Not always. But if you stay committed, yes, you too can have an unshakable sense of trust and flow in your life. So on that note, I would love to invite you to make this an elegant week, and I'll see you next time.